Dubai! All right, this is the way I used to greet people because I used to run esports events. Take a wild guess. What is China's largest sport? Does anyone know? Please raise your hand. Wow, no one knows. People will guess basketball, soccer. No, it's actually League of Legends Esports. League of Legends Esports broadcasts 5 billion hours every year in China alone. That's larger than NBA or the local and soccer and basketball league. So how many people here regularly play games? Can you please raise your hand? Not much. How many of you have watched an esports event, either live or online? Wow, again, a very small percentage. Well, there's a reason I'm here because I am here to tell you a new pathway, leveraging gaming to bring the next, not just 10 million, but 100 million users from Web 2 into Web 3. There isn't a lot of gaming people here for a reason, right? Because at the same time, there's GDC in San Francisco, Game Developers Conference, that attracted all the gaming people. But I would like to be here to lay out the roadmap how GameFi and Web3 gaming can really change the world. So, let's just get started. Don't ignore the number in the bottom. It's just a really small number, but there are 3 billion gamers in the Web2 space. And the tall task, right, is really how we can get these players to eventually become Web3. And the hardest thing is because they actually play for completely different reasons. On the left is why people play games for all the Web2 users. It's because it's competitive. It's because it's something they do with their friends. It's social. It's easy to learn. It helps them. It's a great escape to daily life. They find a lot of satisfaction in playing the game. Versus what is the primary objective for current Web3 gamers? It is because they are playing to earn. And yes, some people talk about the community. Some people talk about, I love decentralized ownership, true ownership. Yes, those matters. But is it enough? If you ask any gamers who doesn't know about Web3, do they care about decentralized ownership? Most likely not. So, the tall task here is how we can bring that many users from Web 2 to Web 3. And, today really want, use this chance to show you, I think, a possible way we can do it. First of all, it needs to be a fun game, but everyone talks about this, so let's just skip over that. I think the best way is to bring a game that is free to play so that you can acquire users easily. So do you know the largest game in the world, right now, at its peak, is Honor of Kings in China. And despite it being a game only in China, it does have an overseas version called Arena of Valor. But Honor of Kings, at its peak, had 220 million monthly active users. That's a lot. We would love to get those users over to Web3. And what's the characteristic? It's a free-to-play game. It pretty much has no pay for power. Why is not pay for power important? Because if you have pay for power, then the paying users will squeeze out the non-paying users because they have a better experience versus those players. So we want to make sure that the game is fair to play for everyone. And a very important key is then if we can have a natural progression that leverages player psychology, and then connect them and make these players immersively transforming into Web3. We think that it's completely possible. Web 2 gaming is already so big. Why do we want to do Web3 then? What does Web3 really bring to gaming? In my mind, these are all the things people talk about: digital ownership, composability, decentralization. And yes, you can see that Web3 gaming does have higher valuation, better terms for the entrepreneur. Web3 does have a way of building community that Web2 gamers don't. But what I think is really, really cool is the fact that Web3 for free-to-play gaming, it breaks through the ARPA ceiling. What's ARPA? Average revenue per active user. For free-to-play games, gaming usually it's ARPU, but then for free-to-play gaming, we actually use active user because active users pay. And we think that actually, Web3 completely breaks through that barrier. How does it break through that barrier? Let's just look at this: how traditional free-to-play games earns their money. It is this sell skin and others off-chain currency. Imagine the game I was talking about, or let's say League of Legends, the game that I used to operate in Asia. League of Legends has huge revenue, and then at its peak had over 100 million users worldwide, monthly active. And for League of Legends, most of its revenue comes from selling skins. What is skins? Skins is just aesthetic in game. An average League of Legends player plays 25 hours per month. And a lot of them play with their friends. So you buy skins because of what? They have no added power. It doesn't earn you more money because, it's like a step-in shoe. You buy skins because you want to look cool in front of your friends. It's like clothing. It's like, you want to walk on the street looking cool. So, essentially, League of Legends, the game ecosystem, is like a clothing company. But this clothing company sells skin for 10, 15, 20 bucks. I call it, it's like a mass brand. It doesn't have tailored clothing. It doesn't have super high-end stuff. But think about it. What is blockchain technology good for? Blockchain technology gives you the timestamp, gives you the exact source of who minted it at what time, has all different kind of metadata attached to it. Then what can we have in this ecosystem then? Potentially then a lot of what we call haute couture, which is, these tailored clothing. On one hand, think about this, NBA Top Shot. We want to create, if we can create an ecosystem of esports that has its own fandom, then any player who plays it, any esport highlight moments can generate unique skins that's verifiably unique, that has all these, highlight reels attached to it. Think about next, what if these are any influence in the world? If the game has some volume of players already, some fans, any influencer can come in here and monetize their current fandom by minting, for example, their first triple kill, their first 100 wins in our game. And any of these is unique. So in the past, League of Legends is like a clothing factory, a clothing brand. But with Web3, it can be a new brand that has, a brand pyramid that has a lot of highly tailored clothing. Plus, me or the game as an ecosystem then can start to have an exchange for these highly tailored NBA Top Shop equivalent NFTs, which means that it has a completely different monetization model now. And if we can get a lot of users, any Web3 games or any Web3 platforms, any DeFi players would like to come and get these players. As long as you have an immersive way to convert these Web2 users, give them a natural way into Web3. If I were to put it bluntly and plainly, we can sell users to Binance if we want. So this is completely new because it breaks through the traditional ARPA ceiling for gaming. And we think this can be the future. Why? Because breaking through that ARPA ceiling means we can go to markets that gaming traditionally does not really touch. South Asia, for example, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. And, the key to all of this, esport. Esport, as I said, is a great way to get fandom. League of Legends esport, for one game, our World Champion Series, we have 100 million unique viewers around the world, most of which is in China. It is the best way to excite people when over 100 million people watch this game. then there's so much shared common emotional attachment that's really worthwhile for everyone. And esport then is a great way to create a community. Esport is a great way to even have additional monetization, like media rights, like sponsorships. Esport is a great way to do customer acquisition. It's a great way to social with your friends. It's a great thing that you can do easily with people you care about. But last but not least, fandom. Fandom is what can increase ARPA exponentially. Think about all the things I did talk to you about, right? For example, for our project, Paris Hilton, one of the big celebrities in the world, is one of our investors, and she actively promoted our game. Think about if Paris Hilton were to mint her own unique skin of her first triple kill in our game, how much that would be worth, right? So, these stars, these celebrities, these esports stars have fandom. And fandom is what goes hand in hand with Web3, with NFTs, that can really help create more value and help break through the traditional ceiling for ARPA. So last but not least, I want to say, we think we have a perfect path for a unique gaming ecosystem to really leverage the power of Web3 to get 100 million users over from Web2. This is just one of the paths. But today, I think I laid out this prototype, this possibility for this to happen. There will be many other people who try different things and succeed, but at least, we think that this is a promising way. Leveraging games, leveraging a fun-to-play game, leveraging esport to get common emotional attachment, leveraging esport to do marketing, something that people can watch with their friends, and then make a new dimension, make this paradigm shift for gaming, make Web3 gaming no longer a play-to-earn game, make Web3 game mainstream in the future. Use gaming as a new frontier to tap into markets that never had profitable gaming markets before. We think that Web3 is the future. It completely disrupts the gaming industry, and the future will come sooner than later. So hopefully, all of you understood, the potential of gaming and excited about what gaming can do. Thank you very much.